When tracing the lineage of sporty compact crossovers, it could be argued that it all started with the Audi SQ5, a vehicle that reshaped the perception of SUV ownership, making it perfectly acceptable to purchase something besides a performance sedan or coupe if you're an enthusiast. Audi's mark on this segment ushered in alternatives like the BMW X3 M40i, Porsche Macan S, Alfa Romeo Stelvio, and Mercedes-Benz GLC 43. Now we have a new arrival, and that is the Genesis GV70 3.5T, which could very well be one of the most underrated and best crossovers in the 2020s that offers both an upscale driving environment and performance DNA. But how does it stack up against the Audi SQ5? And is it time to crown a new king of the sports compact crossover market? Let's find out. There's two sides to the performance crossover market that entices buyers to purchase a vehicle in this segment. One being the practicality and utility that comes along with the better driving characteristics, but there's also consumers out there who are drawn in by the road presence and premium luxury characteristics that come along with a crossover like the Audi SQ5 or Genesis GV70. Much like we'll find out later on in this comparison, it's the exterior aesthetics and cosmetic features that really set the tone for both sporty SUVs, as is what you'll see on the outside that dictates how these vehicles feel when stepping inside, and also how they perform once you get them on the open roads. First for Genesis, up front, the GV70 has a car-like extended hood, similar to the G70. But the best cosmetic features for this crossover is the complete absence of plastic cladding, and instead a nice balance of brushed aluminum and gloss black accents. Despite not being the most noticeable aesthetic feature, the sharp body lines adds a classy vibe to the GV70, making it stand out in a segment where most designs are similar and just lacking inspiration. Then as you make your way to the back, the rear fascia follows a similar layout to up front, as you have LED quad taillights, but more importantly is how the rear end is sculpted, as it doesn't have a boxy road presence, and we wouldn't necessarily say it's like a hatchback, as the rounder rear third is distinctive and almost one of a kind for this segment. With the GV70 being marketed as a sports crossover, there will be a sloping roofline and somewhat sportback-like C-pillars for a free-flowing and athletic look, and raising eyebrows is the large dual exhaust outlets to let you know this crossover means business. Yet with all that being said, the GV70's road presence also exudes a level of class and sophistication, more so than many rivals in this market, and its outward appearance is reflective of the driving environment. Audi, on the other hand, takes a less conspicuous approach with the SQ5, which is what we see throughout the lineup for most S models. The facelift for 2021 kind of changed that, where Audi integrated a honeycomb grille, and the front fascia as a whole became more streamlined and sporty. But when parked side by side with the Q5 that's equipped with the black optic package, you may have to take a closer look to differentiate both models. Compared to the BMW X3 M40i or even the Alfa Romeo Stelvio, the SQ5 does fly below the radar, allowing drivers to have fun without drawing too much attention. Due to the close resemblance to the Q5 and only minor cosmetic differences compared to the less potent sibling, the SQ5 is sporty in nature, while at the same time still having a luxurious aura that enthusiasts certainly love. With Genesis being the newest addition to this segment, getting the interior right for the GV70 is crucial for longevity and success in this highly contested market. For vehicles like the Audi SQ5, we pretty much know what to expect, as the sporty crossover has been around for quite some time, and is arguably the go-to option amongst rivals. As journalists and consumers alike have declared the Genesis GV80 to be the attainable Bentley Bentayga, it only seems right that the brand would give their entry-level luxury crossover the same level of detail. Thankfully, buyers will be greeted by a driving environment that's classy, but also tech-filled, as a 3D digital gauge cluster comes equipped on the Sports Prestige trim along with a head-up display. With the interior wrapping around you, there's not only a sense of security, but to a certain degree, it has a fighter jet-like cockpit. Enhancing the comfort, you'll have available heated and ventilated Nappa leather seats with suede inserts, and despite the bolstering not being too aggressive, they do keep you in place when cornering. The Genesis GV70 certainly is unique in many aspects, most notably with a dashboard layout, as your eyes will be glued to the massive 14.5-inch screen. To make accessing menus easier, there will be physical buttons, but also while driving, you can use the rotary dial and touchpad to help keep your eyes on the road at all times. It should be worth noting that despite all the eye candy, the GV70 doesn't have the most plush interior, as there's a lack of soft touch padding on the dashboard, and that's something that hopefully will be addressed in the near future. The SQ5, experiencing a refresh within the last 2 years, will provide drivers and passengers with a clean and simple design, as the technology you'll be interacting with will be the main highlight for the cabin. Of course, you'll have Audi's virtual cockpit and latest MMI user interface to immerse you into a modern driving environment. But for the most part, besides some minor cosmetic differences, there'll be many similarities to the Q5. Outside the user interface and full digital gauge cluster, Audi doesn't try distracting you away from keeping your eyes on the road. And when it comes to the comfort aspect, the seats provide an adequate amount of support for those times you want to have some fun on back roads. What's drawn so many enthusiasts to sporty crossovers is the fact that they seamlessly replace sedans in a multitude of ways, with the most obvious being more practical and versatile. But if you're someone searching for a fun daily driver that gives you dynamic handling and cornering ability, great straight line speed, and an overall exhilarating driving experience, vehicles like the Audi SQ5 and Genesis GV70 can be the perfect match for you. In the past, you'd frown upon consumers who went in the crossover direction, and it would be sacrilegious as a car enthusiast to find them appealing. But now in 2022, you can't deny that they make sense for a lot of buyers, and in fact might be better than the sports sedans they're closely related to. First, taking a look at the Audi, under the hood, the SQ5 is powered by a 3-liter turbocharged V6 engine that puts out 349 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque, and is paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. With a 0 to 60 time of around 5 seconds, it won't be as quick to respond as an Audi S4, but head-to-head against the GV70 3.5T, the numbers are almost identical. For a sports crossover that competes with the likes of the Porsche Macan S and BMW X3 M40i, the SQ5 is not going to have the most agile handling, at least for models not equipped with the dynamic handling and S-Sport packages, as this SUV tends to experience body roll, and there is a lack of connection to the road. Rather than being a lifted version of an S4, its characteristics and on-road demeanor differ greatly, which is why, if you're highly considering an SQ5, make sure it's well equipped to provide the best driving experience as possible. Now on the flip side, if you're a buyer who feels a Q5 isn't enough, and you're searching for more power and a heightened sense of performance, the SQ5 will fulfill all your desires in a sports crossover. The Genesis GV70, on the other hand, is powered by a 3.5-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine that puts out 375 horsepower and 391 pound-feet of torque, and is also paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. Performance for the price is where Genesis will have the advantage against other luxury manufacturers, as you receive the V6 around $4,000 less than the BMW X3 M40i and $2,000 less than a base Audi SQ5. Where the GV70 is unique in this segment is with the ability to balance a luxury and aggressive driving experience depending on the drive mode you're in. But that can be seen as an Achilles heel, because much like the SQ5, it will display a decent amount of body roll, and as much as you feel compelled to get frisky with this crossover, it's going to fall short when it pertains to cornering at higher speeds. Genesis is leaning more towards luxury rather than having a flat-out performance crossover, which should draw in buyers looking for a mix of both driving styles, and that's reflective of the exterior design and interior layout, which is why, from a performance standpoint, you may find the SQ5 to be more exhilarating, but the GV70 to be the better family-friendly crossover. With sports crossovers, you don't have to be solely focused on straight-line speed, nor do you need the on-the-edge of your seat performance. Vehicles like the SQ5 and Genesis GV70 do their best to offer a nice balance, where you have the power necessary to pass slower drivers on the highway and the heavier steering to provide feedback on winding back roads. But at the heart of these two crossovers is being daily drivable and practical, and to be quite honest, the interiors and technology alone are major selling points. Where the GV70 is at its best is with the dashboard layout and overall interior design, as the driving environment is very upscale for the price point. And then with the eye-opening road presence, Genesis certainly has cornered the market for crafting premium luxury vehicles that are also attainable. For the Audi SQ5, not only can it lean on its reputation, but compared to its closest rivals, the X3 M40i and Mercedes-Benz GLC 43, it's a better overall product that doesn't cut corners when pertaining to technology, but also the performance is adequate enough to continue drawing in brand loyalists and enthusiasts. In closing, the GV70 can be seen as an alternative to the SQ5, but there's no bad choice between the two. If you want luxury and attainable opulence, that's where Genesis wins out at the end of the day. The SQ5, on the other hand, will be the better option if you want performance and crisper handling. But either way, both have proven themselves to be all-around great daily drivers for you and your family. We hope you enjoyed this comparison between the Audi SQ5 and Genesis GV70. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And if you're interested in buying a luxury or performance compact crossover, make sure to check out our full reviews and quick buyer's guides to help you find your next vehicle. And thanks for watching.